This video about to be long as fuck. If you don't want to watch a long ass video, you can exit. If you want to stick through with me, I love you. Hey beauties, it's your girl Jessica Nicole and I'm coming to you guys with a brand new video. In this video today, I will be getting ready with you guys, telling you guys a story time, doing a first impression on this Hourglass foundation, and also telling you guys what happened with my last story time because I know a couple of you wanted to know what was going on. But before I get into this video, I wanted to tell you guys about a segment that I am adding to my channel. The segment is called Real Talk, and everybody that is from my Snapchat fam knows exactly about this. So Real Talk will be surreal. What? Oh my god. So Real Talk will be a segment where you guys send in questions as far as the lifestyle, relationships. You guys can ask me questions as well. Any types of questions like that, you can send it in to my email. I will put the email right here, and it will also be in the description bar down below. You guys can send questions in, and myself and my boyfriend, if you guys do not know who my boyfriend is, I will leave a link down below with my boyfriend tag video. His name is Keon. He's an amazing person. He is a very honest person, and he has a very genuine, loving soul. So he will give you guys a nicer way of handling things than I do, because I don't handle things in the best manner at times. If you did not see my story time with my sister, sometimes I think with more anger than I do with love, and that is just one of my faulties. So yeah, that's just a little thing that you guys should know about me. I'm not always angry, I'm not always mean. It's just when you come for me or my family or my loved ones, you better run, because I'm gonna get you. Anywho, so yeah, let's just get into doing this makeup. We're gonna just chit chat and get ready to go. Let's go. Alright, so as far as the story time that I put up recently, and it is now, I didn't take it down, it is now on private. When I put that video up, of course, it was just to tell you guys about a time in my life that I did something really stupid, and you know, whatever the case may be. So of course, because it has to do something, whoa, all right, because it has something to do with you know, drug dealing and, you know, I guess the black community, I did get, you know, some racial comments that were uneasy to me, as far as me being a black woman. And then also the person that I was speaking of in the story time, I did not spray my face, fuck. The person I was speaking of in the story time, he does follow me, and I really didn't care, and I still don't care about how he felt. But it did like start like this big whole, you know, thing where people were, you know, coming at me basically saying like, you know, I'm using other people as far as him and like the girl that was my friend and my best friend video, you know, to make money off of them. And that is not the case. I'm not using them to make money off of them. Like, I can take the monetization off the video just to tell the story. I'm not trying to make money off these people. I'm trying to tell you guys what I've been through, what I've learned, and you know, like, I'm not here to use no one. Like, I'm here, and I tell the stories because you guys enjoy it. So I just took that video down in particular because, you know, the friend, clearly she doesn't care that I talked about her or whatever, but I took the video down because I just could not deal with it. Sometimes me as a person, when something just bothers me so much that I'm thinking about it constantly, I try to X that out of my life. So because I wanted to X that out of my life, I put the video on private, and I'm still contemplating on whether I'm going to take it off of private and let you guys see the video again, or just take it off completely. I don't know yet, and guys, please don't tell me you guys want me to take it off of private, because I feel like that video in particular, because I'm going through what I'm going through, I need to make that decision on my own. But yeah, that's what's going on. But on the upside, I do have a story time for you guys today. This person I didn't get permission from. I doubt he'll see this video. Because I don't really know if he even has me on social media, but whatever. So yeah, this story is gonna be about the time that I was dating the pastor's son. And the pastor's son was crazy, okay? When I say crazy, the boy was ridiculously nuts. Like, I didn't understand him, his ways, nothing like that. And I don't know. But anyway, let's just get into the story. So like I usually do, I'm going to give you guys a backstory on how I met, what we going to call him? We're going to call him Mr. Cray, because that's what I call him to the friends that knew of him when I was dating him. We're gonna call him Mr. Cray. Alright. So, Mr. Cray. So, at this time I was in high school. I was about 15 or 16 years old. I really can't remember what age I was. I just know I was in the 10th grade. So I was about 15 or 16 years old. I had to be 15. Pretty sure I had to be 15. Anyway, I was in the 10th grade and I was going to church, and I got into church because of my god sister, which I also call her my cousin. I got into church because of my cousin. We're just gonna call her my cousin. And she enjoyed going to church, and she used to go to the youth service. And I used to spend weekends over there because I enjoyed her company and her sister's company. So I decided that I was gonna go with my cousin, the younger one, to go to this so I'm trying out the foundation now. Sorry guys, before I finish the story. I'm trying out the foundation and I'm in the color Golden Almond. One thing I noticed from swatching it, if I rub too hard, this part like gets onto the applicator, so yeah. Anywho. Okay, the color's not bad. The color's not horrible. Could work with it. It's creamy. I feel like I'm putting on a lot though. I feel like that's, I'm gonna put it under my chin because I always do a little down my neck. Alright, back to the story. So I used to go with her. Now, for New Year's, fast forward to New Year's. For New Year's, we didn't know what we wanted to do. I was going to go to her house to spend New Year's with her. Because usually for New Year's, it blends out really nice. Sorry, guys. This foundation, it blends out good. I like it. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so New Year's I usually spend with my mom. I used to bring New Year's in with my mom. Watch the ball drop, and then, go about my business. Whoever my bae was at the time, used to call them, tell them Happy New Year. But I used to bring New Year's in with my mom. I'm sorry, guys, I'm rubbing my neck. So, used to bring New Year's in with my mom. This year, I didn't want to be home. I actually wanted to be with, it was vacation time. Yes. So I wanted to be around, my cousins, I wanted to be with them. I'm young. I want to be around whoever I could spend time with, and they were the ones that I wanted to spend time with at that time. So, I was like, they was like, they're going to church for New Year's to bring the New Year's in. So I was like, okay, y'all going to church. Of course, I'm going to church with y'all. Like, duh. So it looks like I have nothing on. Oh, I got some dry spots on my face. Oh, man. It really looks like I have absolutely nothing on. Like, that's crazy. This is the Hourglass Vanishing stick, and I'm in Golden Almond. This looks nice. Like, it looks like I have nothing on, but I'm getting coverage, so it's weird. Story at hand. So they said they were going to church. I've been to that church with them, so I was like, all right, since y'all going to church for New Year's, of course I'm going to go to church with y'all. So Went to church, and when we got to church, we got there a little bit late, so we sat like close to the back. So she my cousin told me, you know, we went or whatever, we to go bring in New Year's, and we got there late, and when we got there, we had to sit in the back. My aunt or godmother, whatever you want to call her, she doesn't really want to she didn't want to sit in the front anyway. She was like, you know, like that's what she said. She was like, I don't want to sit in the front. So I was like, okay, cool. So we sat in the back, and in the back row, like we were on the left. To the right, there was like a guy by himself, like sitting in the back row, like with some baggy ass jeans on, like looking like some real hood niggas. But hands down, the foundation looks nice to me. Like, it literally looks like my skin right now. Like, I'm enjoying it. He's sitting in the back row, so when I look over, he was staring at me, and I'm just like, okay, sir, like, what are you staring at? And I'm not gonna lie, he was cute. Okay, he was my type. He was dark skinned. He was really, really, really tall. I like that. He had braids. At that time, I was into the whole braids thing. I was young. I was into the whole boys with braids type of thing. And I was like, okay, he's like kind of cute, but I don't know what the hell he's staring at, but okay. So behind me was a girl with a baby. And I wasn't really paying attention like that, but I knew there was a girl behind me with a baby. So he was staring at me. I looked at him for a second, and I looked away because I was just trying to figure out what the hell he was staring at. So church went on. You know, New Year's came. Everybody said Happy New Year. Hugging each other, you know, showing each other love, everything. Everybody's showing each other love. Everybody's, you know, saying Happy New Year, whatever the case may be. So once that happened and everybody gave each other, like, hugs and, you know, told each other, you know, Happy New Year, gave each other hugs and kisses. All the kids, I don't know what happened, but all the kids went outside. So, I knew the brother of the guy, of Mr. Cray. So I knew the brother of the guy. So when we were talking, well, I didn't really know him, like, but I've seen him the couple times I've been to church. So Mr. Cray came to me and was just like, my brother likes you. So I'm like, okay, who's your brother? So he pointed at the guy that was staring at me in the seat to my left. So I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, how old are you? So I was like, I'm 16 or 15 or however old I was. So he went to his brother and he was like, yo, she's too young for you. So he was like, how old is she? And he told him, he was like, you know, she's 16 or 15 or whatever. So time went on, we were still outside talking, and everybody was figuring out like how they were getting home, who was doing what, who was riding with who. And I think the brother that we were talking to dropped us home. Not the guy that ended up being my boyfriend, the other brother. I think he ended up dropping us home. I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But before we left, the Mr. Cray was like, you know, he don't care. He wants my number. So when he said that, I was like, okay, so like, how old are you? So he was like, I'm 21. Now, mind you, I said I was 15 or 16. He said he was 21. Like, in my head, I was like, boy, that is a big age difference, but you're cute. So my dumb ass was like, okay. I gave him my phone number or whatever. And, like, you know, we was talking, but it was nothing serious. Like, it was just like, oh, you know, how's your day? Blah, 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 blah. Like, so also, like, I think it was like a couple weeks after, or like a month or two after, the church goes on a trip to visit. They have another church, and I'm not gonna say where it is, but because I just don't want to deal with it. So yeah, to their other church, they take a trip every year. Like, it's like an annual trip. So I was like, all right, cool. My cousin was like, I should come because the trip is a lot of fun, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, all right, I guess we're going to go on this trip. So I was like, I'm going to go. I went on the trip, and of course, Mr. Cray was on the trip. Like, everybody that goes to that church was on the trip. And it was like a family church kind of thing. So I was like, all right, everybody that goes to the church is on the trip. He's there, which I didn't expect him to be there because I'd never seen him there, but he's there, whatever, whatever, whatever. Come to find out, on the trip that Mr. Cray was the pastor's grandson, or he called her mom, but it was the pastor's grandson. Also, I found out the girl that was sitting behind me with the baby was his baby mama. So when I found that out, I was like, okay, I'm 15. Like, I don't do that baby mama drama stuff. Like, I am not dealing with this. Like, but he reassured me that, oh, you know, like, we were speaking, but it was not that much, like, on the trip. So he let me know, like, you know, him and his baby mother not together. While we were on the trip, like, it was like this big thing where he was having an argument with, like, his family because they wanted him to stay with her because it was, like, basically the right thing to do. And because, you know, they're church going people and they, you know, the whole thing. But they're trying to, you know, tell him, like, the right thing to do was to stay with her, blah, 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 blah. But you could tell, like, he was a black sheep of the family. And, like, they basically, like, because he didn't want to live the life they wanted him to live, like, he was the black sheep. Like, they treated him very differently. You could tell from, like, the trip and once I got to know him. But anyway, so they let him know, like, oh, you need to, you know, be with her. And he's just like, you guys can't force me to be with somebody I don't want to be with, yada, 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 yada. So on the trip now, because I just want to tell y'all what started off this whole thing. On the trip now, you know, on the trip, he told me, because we used to speak through AIM, he told me that he wanted to see me. And he wanted to see me and that he would be on a certain floor. When I went to that floor, it was mad people in the hallway. His baby mother was there. I was like, okay, like, I ain't here for it. So we walked away, me and my cousin. We went back in the elevator and we went back downstairs to the computer room. While we're in the computer room, she comes in the computer room. His baby mother comes in the computer room and she's like, who's messing with Mr. Cray? And I'm like, nobody, because nobody was. Like, I was telling the truth. Nobody was messing with Mr. Cray. I was like, nobody's messing with him. Like, nobody. So she was like, oh, because I have a feeling when you guys are messing with him. So I'm like, okay, and even if we were, like, you know, go check him. Like, don't check the other woman. Check your man. Like, that's who you're supposed to be checking. Don't come here talking about some, oh, I feel like one of y'all messing with him. Talk to him, and if he's lying to you, that is your issue. It is not mine, and I really don't care. Like, so she was like, you know, she basically said, even though we're not together, he's still my son's father, blah, 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 blah. You know. So I was like, okay, cool, like, goodbye. So she left the room, and my cousin said something to me, and she was just, you know, I forgot what my cousin said, but she was basically like, you know, telling me, like, this is not something I should be in. And I was agreeing with her at that time. Anywho, she left the room, night went by. I didn't really speak to him like that because his family was around, and, you know, like, whatever friendship we had going on at that time was nobody's business. The only person that really knew what was going on was my cousin and my godmother, or my aunt, whatever you want to call her. She kind of had a feeling, but I kept lying to her and saying there was nothing going on. But I did like him. He was cool. He was funny. When you're funny, that is like a big thing to me. Like, my boyfriend now, he's hilarious. I love him. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't really talk on the trip like that because we didn't want to know, but we did play around. Like, you know, we acted like everything was regular, because everything was regular. We weren't together. We were just cool. So after the trip now, because, you know, well, there was some drama on the trip, but that has nothing to do with it. After the trip now, you know, we're getting to know each other differently. We're hanging out sometimes, and then, you know, somehow we just fell into a relationship because we became really close friends. And, you know, we fell into the relationship. Like, it wasn't something that was supposed to happen. I'll tell you that right now. Because knowing what I know now, if I knew that then, I would definitely never dated this guy. But I made that mistake by dating him. And you learn from your mistakes. Anyway. So again, we are 5 to 6 years apart in age. He's older than me. You know, like, our situation was just really different. But his personality was just so cool. Like, so, I just liked him. I really liked him. So, anyway, fast forward to, like, I think 3 to 4 months into the relationship. He started bringing me, because he drove, he started bringing me to school. Which was fine, but I realized he was bringing me to school to see, like, if I had a boyfriend there. Like, he would do little stuff. Like, say I'm on the phone, like, and he think it's a guy, he'll take the phone from me. Or say I'm, like, with someone, he needs to know if it's a guy or not, or he'll pick me up from there and blah, blah, blah. Like, he'll do little stuff like that. And it was very, very, very aggravating for me, because it's like, bro, like, what? So now this situation, it might be jumbled up into incidents or whatever the case may be, because the timeline, the way I remember it, I don't know if the timeline is correct, and it's just for you guys to learn from this situation. So let's just talk about, okay, so there was a day where he picked me up and brought me to school. So when he brought me to school, because he used to come all the way from West Bubblefuck to come pick me up to bring my ass to school. So he would go from where he's at, come to my side of Queens, bring me from my side of Queens to the opposite side, like close to where I live now, to bring me to school. So it was like, why are you getting up at 7 in the morning to come bring me to school? And he used to make me, like, if I didn't call him and tell him, like, come get me, he used to have a heart attack. But bitch ain't want to take a bus to begin with, so nigga, you want to bring me to school? That is your prerogative. I don't give a flying fuck what you do. Me to school. So this day when he brought me to school, a friend that I had from, like, junior high started going to my school, and I didn't. Everybody was telling me that he was going there, but I did not see him. So when I did see him, like, because he was the homie, like, I got so excited when I saw him that I jumped on him. Like, I loved the fuck out of him. So I jumped on him and I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. You know, like, just greeted him regular. So when I greeted him or whatever, my boyfriend drove off, or he said he drove off a little bit and saw what happened. So, which Mr. Cray, I don't know, you were just a different breed of nigga. Where's my eyeshadow primer? Okay. Oh, yeah. So, anyway. He, wow. Why am I squeezing everything so hard? So, he was like, he dropped me at the school, but he, like, waited down the block or some shit like that to see what I was gonna do when he saw me jump on him and yada yada. Like, he called me to argue, and I was just like, my man, like, I'm not even supposed to have my phone in school. Like, I'm about to walk to school. I don't have time to argue with you. And then he was arguing with me because I went the opposite way to go to the store to get food. Like, that's what we do, okay? We go to school late sometimes because we want to go to the store. Why the fuck does that even matter? Like, you're not my father. So, you know, the argument happened or whatever, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta get to school, blah, 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 like, I hung up on him. No, I didn't hang up on him. He was just like, alright, cool, like, go to school, I'll pick you up later, which, he never picks me up from school, but because he saw this, he was like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up from school. Like, why are you taking so much time out of your life to make sure I'm not cheating on you? I was not allowed to have my phone in school, so what I used to do is, because we had metal detectors in my high school, I learned, me and my friends used to stick our phones down our pants and put it where the zipper was. But this day, because he had me so fucking distraught and I was rushing to, like, put my phone inside my pants, I didn't put it in correctly, so I went off on the metal detector, and I went off on the metal detector and they took my phone. They made me take my phone out my pants. So I was like, fuck it, like, whatever, y'all can have my phone, like, I don't care. So when this happened now, I told him I had to make an emergency phone call. I called him and I told him he had to come pick up my phone because you got it taken away with your insecure ass. So knowing that though, his stupid ass was still calling my phone constantly. I'm just like, my man, I told you they took my phone. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I called him when school's about to be over and I was like, okay, so you need to come get my phone, like, figure it out, get your ass up here because I need my phone. He came up to the school, tried to get my phone. Of course, they didn't want to give it to him because they said there was, like, no dean there to give him the phone, which was a lie. That happened or whatever. So, when we got in the car for him to bring me, like, home, he was arguing with me and he was just like, this would have never happened if you would have never jumped on a nigga, blah, 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 blah. Like, he was just going crazy and I'm just like, okay, granted, you're mad because I jumped on the boy. I live in a fucking hood. Anyway, so yeah, he was just like, oh, if I never jumped on the boy, this would have never happened, and how I'm disrespectful to him because I jumped on the boy and blah 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 blah. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, granted, you're mad, I get it, but like, if I told you I'm walking into the school, why would you constantly call my phone? Like, are you fucking stupid? So he was like, no, because I felt like you were lying to me. Strike number one with our relationship, with the whole situation. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, this nigga's just crazy. I get it. Back. So before I went on a trip to Rochester, I had a guy friend that I always spoke to. We were really close. We were really cool. And my boyfriend, Mr. Craig, came to the house and we were talking. Now, I told my friend that I'm speaking of, that I would call him back when my boyfriend left the house because me and him had to talk about something. But he was calling me because a situation happened with somebody, a mutual friend that we had, and he is like, he needs my advice. So while he was calling me, my boyfriend was there and he realized it was a guy calling me. We were arguing back and forth and he was just like, yo, who's this person, yada yada yada. The man took and at that time I had a flip phone. I don't remember why I had a flip phone, but I did. He took my phone and broke it in half. Like, the screen part was on one side and the part with the numbers was on the other side. He broke my fucking phone. So when that happened, now I was pissed because it's like, okay, like, you don't have a way to contact me, whatever. So I think we was at my house or his house, but I was just like, like, I walked away. Like, I was just so pissed. Anyway, broke my phone, and then that following week or the week after, 2 weeks after, I went on a trip to Rochester. We went on the trip to Rochester. Now, while we're in Rochester with my guy cousins now, I'm calling him from the house phone in Rochester because there's no other way for me to contact him. So I'm speaking to him through AIM. So I was constantly on the computer, and I was calling him, like, from time to time. Now, when I called him one time, my one of my cousins made a joke or whatever, like, I forgot what it was, but it was like a stupid joke, like, oh, come here, baby, or some stupid shit like that. And he got so livid and was just like, oh, you in Rochester because you got a boyfriend out there, and just a bunch of fuckery, guys. Like, a bunch of fuckery. Oh, you got a boyfriend out there. I was like, that's my cousin. Like, he's just joking. So he was like, why would your cousin joke like that? That's not funny. That's not your cousin, and blah blah blah. Like, he was just like, how is that your cousin? So I was explaining, like, how we're related, and I'm just like, why the fuck am I even explaining this? And then I got over it, and I think I hung up on him or something like that, or he hung up on me, and I was just like, fuck it, like, I'm done. So yeah, he was like, oh, why would your cousin joke like that? So I was like, that's how he jokes. Like, he's funny. Like, that's how he is. He was known as the funny person in the family to begin with. So, like, I was like, he's my cousin. Like, there's nothing else. Like, he's just joking around. He's playing with you because you're my boyfriend. Like, that's how he is. So that whole trip, like, Mr. Cray was being cray. Like, he would just like do stupid shit, black on me. Like, I was just in a bad spot in my life when it came to like him and like my friendships and a bunch of stuff. Like, I was just like in a bad space, and I just hated my life. And he just, I don't know, he just broke me down. But anyway, came back from Rochester, and when I came back, he acted as if nothing fucking happened. I kid you not, guys. The man acted as if when I was like, he wasn't bugging out when I was on the trip. Like, the man acted as if everything was all good while I was on the trip, and you know, we're all lovey-dovey and shit again. And I brung it up, and he was just like, you know, he apologized, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. That happened. Then we're gonna fast forward to I stayed home from school one day because I wasn't feeling good, and one of my guy friends was like, my guy friend that I said I was really close to brung me something to eat. So he dropped off the food while I was on the phone with Mr. Cray, and I was like, all right, I'll see you in school tomorrow. Mr. Cray was like bugging out. He was like, oh, I can tell if you have sex with someone else, so you better not have sex with anybody behind my back. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why can't you understand? Like, you cannot be my only friend. You cannot be the only male in my life. Like, it's not gonna happen. I have too many males in my life for you to tell me, you know, like, basically, you're the only man. Like, it's not happening, Mr. Cray. Like, let it go. Let it the fuck go. So that happened now, and I told my friend what happened, and he was just like, you know, like, you need to just leave him. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I was just like, you know, like, it's not that easy. And I thought that what he was doing was love. Like, I literally thought that he did all that shit because he loved me, but it was really because he was insecure in himself. But anyway, fast forward now to my it was my 16th birthday, I guess. Fast forward to my birthday. Now, when my birthday comes, my stepdad, I consider him my stepdad because he basically helped my mom raise me. Like, he was an amazing person, but I call him my stepdad. Fast forward to my birthday now. My stepdad usually takes me and my sister shopping for our birthday every year. So we get our birthday outfit, our birthday shoes, and we'll probably get like one more thing out of it. He takes us to dinner. So we spend the whole weekend with him every year for our birthday because that's what he does for us. So I went by myself, of course, because my sister didn't want to come. My sister usually comes, but like, she doesn't want to come anymore at that time because it was like, I'm taking this trip with you and you're the only person getting something out of this. Like, what's the point? So I was like, all right, I feel you. Like, I'll go on the trip by myself. So where I'm at my stepdad's house, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, you know, where are you? Like, he was basically, before that, he was telling me like I shouldn't go, and how I forgot what he said, but I shouldn't go and all this stupid shit. So I was telling him, like, I'm not gonna not go. Like, this is my dad. Like, it's not happening. Like, you could get out of there with that. Like, it's not happening. Like, I'm going on this trip regardless of what you say. So I went on a trip, and like, we was speaking, but like, it was like arguing the whole time. And like, my stepdad, his apartment at the time wasn't huge. So like, I would have to like go in the bathroom to talk to him, and like, when I go in the bathroom, the thing is loud, so my dad can't hear what I'm saying on the phone. So the vent is loud, so my dad can't hear what I'm saying on the phone. This man was telling me how, because he's not my real dad, he wants to have sex with me, and how does he know he's not a sick pervert that just buys me shit because you know, he wants to sleep with me. And I'm like, I don't know, like, what you've been through. But, like, that's not the type of person we dealing with today. Like, what? And he's like, oh, is he still with your mother? So I'm like, no. Like, it was never that kind of situation. Like, they were never really together. And he was like, oh, you mean to tell me you guys, they were never really together? But I was like, it's not that type of situation. So I explained the situation to him, and it made the situation even worse. So he's arguing with me, telling me I need to leave. He'll come pick me up. I was telling him, I was like, I'm not leaving. Like, I'm not leaving. Like, this is like a tradition. This is a tradition basically for him. Like, this is, I mean, I spent other times with him, but this was like the time where he got to spend time with me and me alone. He got to talk to me and like give his insight on what I should do as far as life and, you know, things. And, you know, I cherish those moments because, like, I don't get them now that I'm an adult. I do speak to him from time to time, but, like, I don't get those times with him anymore. And I honestly miss it because he got on my nerves at times, but it was, like, good times. Like, I enjoyed my stepdad's company. And, like, I was just like, I'm not leaving. Like, I love him. I'm not gonna hurt his feelings just because, you know, you want to be insecure. And, like, I was at my wit's end because it's like, how can you say something like that? Like, somebody I considered my father wants to sleep with me, and that's why he's buying me my birthday gifts. Like, you sound fucking insane. You sound stupid as fuck. And then, like, he got even more mad because my younger sister didn't want to come. And he's like, oh, there's a reason why your sister don't want to come. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay. So while I'm at my wit's end, I was telling my older brother about the situation. So my older brother's like, okay, well, you need to just go. And, like, every time, like, things got worse and worse. Like, there was weird situations that he would fight with me about, like, I was in, like, a horrible situation. And honestly, guys, I would have to say, like, he really was just trying to break me down as a person so he could have control over me. And it was working. It was honestly working. I was becoming, like, so standoffish. I didn't want to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to do it. Like, he was really breaking me down, guys. Like, and I'm telling you guys this story for a reason. I'm telling you guys with all seriousness for a reason, because, well, I'll tell you guys the reason in a second. But he was just breaking me down as a person, and it was working. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then the wit's end that I got, he, like, mind you, he always, like, wanted to know what I was doing. He always had a say so in what I was doing. Like, he just always had to have the upper hand in what I was doing. So there was one night where I called him and there was a female in the background. So I'm speaking to him and I hear the girl and I'm like, who's that? He's like, my homegirl. So I'm like, okay, so let me just ask you a question now. You put me through hell and back every time I hang out with a male, even when it's my cousin, even when it's my brother, even when it's my dad. And you mean to tell me right now you got a female with you and you put me through hell and back just to be around my family? He was like, but that's just my homegirl. So we argued back and forth and he hung up. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not going to call him back. Because he did this thing where, like, if I didn't call him back after he hung up on me, I didn't love him or I didn't care. That was his thing. So, like, from time to time, to show him that I quote-unquote care and he hung up on me, I would call back. Guys, I was young and stupid. Okay? And don't be this way. So he hung up and I didn't call back. The whole night he didn't call me. Okay, he did his thing, whatever he wanted to do, he hung out. I don't even think that was his homegirl, but whatever. So I never called him back, and like I stayed up that whole entire night. I think I didn't have school the next day because the next day he called me and we broke up. But I stayed up the whole night, and like I thought about everything, guys, from the way he acted with my stepdad, the way he acted with my cousins, to breaking my phone, to just everything. I thought about every single thing, and I told myself, this is it. Okay, I'm done. Mr. Craig can go about his business. I'm done. He called me that afternoon and was like, you didn't call me. Like, I hung up on you and you didn't call me. So I was like, Mr. Craig, that's because I don't care. He was like, what you mean? So I was like, I'm done. Like, we're finished. I give up. I want my life back. Like, I give up. Like, I'm done. So he's like, is that what you want? And I was like, yeah. He said, okay, and hung up. I'm thinking this is over and I'm in the clear. Okay, like, but no. He would call me and tell me how much he's sorry. He would curse me out, then call me again and tell me how much he loved me. And like, from personal experience and seeing, not me personally, but seeing people that I knew go through this situation, I was a second away from abusive relationship. A second. And if I didn't decide to leave when I did, who knows what the fuck would have happened. And I thank God every day that I decided to leave, because he really could have messed me up as a person and just changed my train of thought and think that I was less, because he did things like that, make me feel like I was less than nothing. And anybody that's willing to do that to you, they don't love you, they don't care for you, they care about themselves. And again, I thank God I did what I did, because all of those traits and all of those things that happened to me are seriously, even if it's not a physically abusive relationship, he was mentally abusive. And nobody, I repeat, nobody should ever go through that. And if these are the things you're going through and you were my age at the time, or even now, go. Okay, no, they don't love you. Even if they do, nobody should love you to death. Like, don't stay. It is not okay. The situation is not okay. And you should love yourself enough to know that this situation is not okay at all. Like, I'm saying this with all seriousness, and this is why I told this story, because it was in the back of my mind, and I really sat there and thought about someone that I know that passed because they thought that this person loved them, and that's why they treated them that way. Go. Okay, guys, listen to me and just go, and don't even deal with this. Like, you have to love yourself more than that. And even if they tell you that you're not beautiful, you are. Okay, and if you weren't, they wouldn't be with you. Duh. So just go and don't even look back or think about it. If you have kids with this person, it's gonna make it a lot harder, but you gotta be strong, baby girl. It's not easy. And if it's a guy going through this, go to. She ain't worth it. Like, I'm telling you guys, with all serious, I've never been so serious with a story time ever in my life. Like, just listen to me with this, please. All right. So that's that story. I'm going to put that's that story. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I'm sorry if I brought you guys down with the story or whatever the case may be, but I really felt the need to tell this story. But I'm gonna go put my lashes on off camera, and then I'm gonna come to y'all with another story time. But this one's short, but it's fucking ridiculous as fuck. I'll be right back, guys. Big. All right, so second story time. This is something quick, and this is a silly story, but I had to tell you guys because I don't want this to be y'all, okay? I want to save y'all from looking this stupid. And I'm not the one that's looking stupid in the story, I promise you. But I had to tell y'all this. Ooh, the sharpen's good. Okay. So, as you guys know, I am a bartender. And I won't be for long, guys. But I'm still a bartender for right now. Okay? This is my job. This is how I pays my bills. Okay? So, I am a bartender. So, of course, as a bartender, you're going to get couples that come to the bar. Alright? And all that jazz. So, this day, I got a couple that came to the bar. Now, when they came in, okay, the girlfriend went to the bathroom. But what I'm supposed to do is, as soon as the person sits down, I'm supposed to acknowledge them to make them feel that, you know, welcome to the bar, or whatever the case may be. And then, give them time to look over the menu, of course, you know, and so on and so forth. So, the girlfriend went to the bathroom. I dropped off the menu. I went back to what I was doing. And then when she came out the bathroom, I gave them like another minute or two and I went over. Introduced myself and I let them know that I asked them if they're ready to order. So I went to them and said that. They were like, well, the guy said, yes, we're ready to order. Are you ready? So I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So I think I made like a little joke. Me and him laughed at the joke. And she sat there quiet. So I'm thinking this bitch is a fucking mute, okay? I'm just like, alright, well, you know, to each his own. If you like mute girls, I get it. You know, sometimes we talk too fucking much. I get it. You feel me? Like, you want a mute girlfriend? I get it. Sometimes my boyfriend probably wants to tell me to shut the fuck up. Your girl never talks. I get it. So, we're talking. He gives me the whole order now, okay? She doesn't say a fucking word. He gives me the whole order. So I'm like, alright, cool. I take the order. I put the order in. I get their drinks. And I come back. When I come back with their drinks, you know, I asked if they needed anything else. The guy said napkins. And she stared at me. So I was like, alright, maybe she's not a mute. Maybe she's deaf. You know? I hope that she's deaf because she's just staring at me. So I dropped off the napkins, checked on them a couple times. Their food came out. I asked them if they wanted another round of drinks. They said not yet. So, well, he said not yet. So I was like, okay, cool. So the girlfriend, So the girlfriend finished her drink before his. So I went to her. Mind you, this time when I went to her, the boyfriend was at the bathroom. So when I went to her, I'm like, do you want another drink? This bitch looked me in my soul and said, I don't know. Why don't you ask my boyfriend? Bitch. You can't be fucking serious. So me being petty Sue, I was like, well, I apologize, but your boyfriend's not here right now, and he's not the one that needs the drink. It is you. So, would you like another drink? She said, wait until he comes back then, because it seems like he's the only person you want to speak to at the moment. I shrugged my shoulders, and I was like, okay. And I walked away. Like, miss, I am not going to go there with you, okay? I'm not. So, he comes back from the bathroom. Again, guys, I'm fucking petty. Alright, I'm petty as shit. Went to him and I was like, does your girlfriend want another drink? She looked at me and she laughed. Like, but she didn't laugh like really hard, but she laughed like, she did like a little chuckle. So he was like, you want another drink to her? And she was like, no. And he looked at me and he was like, nah, she good. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, she does talk. Guys, why did I do that? Why did I do that? So he goes, yeah, she's just not in the mood right now. I was like, I could tell. I walked away, made her drink, and came back. I did that or whatever. Gave them the drinks. The guy was like, he's not gonna take another drink, he wants to check. So when that happened, gave the check. She says she wants to pay. Now, because of what happened, I know she's not gonna tip. So I was like, whatever. Just get the hell out. So, hold on. So she pays, and of course, she didn't tip. So the boyfriend counts the money and realized that she didn't tip, so he went in his pocket and took out $20. She insisted that he should not tip me because I gave her attitude. So what he did, he waited until she walked out the door and threw $20 on the bar and was like, I'm sorry. Of this story is, ladies, I don't want y'all to be like this. This is why I'm telling y'all this. The bartender doesn't want your man. 9 times out of 10. Even if they are cute, still 9 times out of 10 we don't want them. We want their money. Okay, so our job is to be nice. Our job is to be nice so that we do get their money. Okay. Do not get shit twisted. I don't want your man, honey. I'm almost done. I'm gonna wear a hat because I ain't got 10. Don't forget, guys, I really want to do real talk with you guys. I do. Like, I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are excited too. And I hope you guys are not afraid to send questions. Because you gotta send them. Like, funny thing is, you guys always have questions on Snapchat, but then when I tell y'all to participate in something, it's silence. Everybody's anonymous, so it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say your name because I don't want anybody's business out on the street, and I don't want to embarrass anyone. So I'd rather not, because if I'm gonna send something like questions and stuff like that, I'd rather be anonymous. Because what I'm going through is nobody's business. Figure deal me. Alright, so I'm about to get my Uber so I could go. If you guys enjoyed this video, like I always tell you guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on all social medias. I actually enjoyed doing this video, and I know that it's really long, but if you guys stuck through the whole video, I love you. If you didn't, whatevs. You probably ain't even seen this part if you didn't stick through the whole video. But yeah, I have on a hat. I need my hair done. I love you guys so much. Follow me on all social medias. Please, please, please send your emails to Real Talk. And yeah, see you guys in my next video.